Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be learning how to cut a queen and neckline corset with a basque effect. So if it's something you would love to learn, make sure to watch to the end of the video, like, share and subscribe. And if you are new on my channel, do where to subscribe. Subscription is totally free, and turn on the notification bell so you can be notified anytime we drop new videos. So without further ado, let's jump right into the main video. So from the top of the paper here, it is my shoulder line and my starting point. I'm going to come down to mark my bust point, which is 10. From my shoulder to my bust point is 10 inches. I'm going to mark that all the way to get a straight line. I'll go ahead and extend the point across. From the top of the paper, I'm going to come down to mark my under bust point, which is 13 inches. From my shoulder to my under bust is 13 inches. I'll mark that all the way to get a straight line. I'll go ahead and extend the point across. Then I'm going to place my tape there and come down to mark my waist point, which is 16 inches. From my shoulder to my waist is 16 inches. I'm going to mark that all the way to get a straight line. I'll go ahead and extend the point across. Then from the waistline, I'm going to come down by 5 inches. This is going to be for that basque effect we have on the dress. The 5 inches is for the basque effect. I'm going to mark that all the way and then extend the point across. So this is our bust point, our under bust, our waistline, and then the top length. So I'm going to come to the top of the paper here, divide my shoulder by 2. My shoulder is 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. I'll mark it right here. I'll come down by 1 inch at that point for my shoulder slope. I'll come here to mark my neck width of 3 inches. I'll connect from my shoulder slope into the neck width like so. Then from the shoulder slant, I'm going to come down to mark my arm length. And how to get your arm length: divide your bust by 6, then add 1.5 inches. So I'm going to place my tape here to make sure I have my shoulder measurement at this point to get a straight line. I'll connect from my shoulder slant all the way to this point we just marked. Then I'll extend it across like so. So this now become my chest line. So I'll come here to mark the midpoint of this line. Then at that point I'll go in by ½ an inch. I'll come to the chest line, divide my bust circumference by 4. Then I'll connect all these points together with my French cup to get our armhole. So the next thing is to get our dart, and to get our dart, you divide your nipple to nipple measurement by 2. My nipple to nipple measurement is 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. I'm going to mark the 3.5 on all the lines. Then I'll go ahead and connect all these points with a straight line like this. I'm going to mark 1 inch on both sides of this dart line, on the top line, waistline, and under bust line. But if you are busty, you can mark 1 inch on the center front and then 1.5 inch or 2 inch on the side front. So I'll mark the 1 inch on the top line, waistline, and under bust line on both sides of the dart line. I'll go ahead and connect these dots together like this. So I'll use my curve rule to just connect the line to the bust point like so. You see how I place my curve rule. From the bust line, I'm going to go up by 1.5 inches, and then I'm going to extend that line all the way to that point. So this is how covered I want my dress to be. It depends on what you want. You can go higher than 1.5 inches or lower than 1.5 inches. I'm going to mark 1 inch on both sides of that line. Then I'll connect all the way to that point like so. So I'll also mark the 1.5 inches here. Then I'll mark ½ inch. So this is the distance we have, this gap we have in between our bust. If you see your corset dress, you see this small gap we have in between the two breasts. Then I'm just going to connect from that ½ inch all the way to meet this line like this. Then I'll connect from that point all the way to the under bust. We are trying to form our cup like so. You can see our cup is formed. Then I'll come to this armhole here, mark the midpoint of that armhole. Then I'll connect from this dart leg here also to that midpoint of our armhole. Then I'll connect from that point all the way to the under bust with my curve like so. So our second cup is formed. Our queen and neckline, from this second cup I'm going to come in by 1.5 inches. You see, so it depends on what you want though. I'll come in by 1.5 inches. Then I'm going to connect from the neck width all the way to that point. So you can do 1 inch, you can do 1.5 inch, so it depends on what you want. So I'll go ahead and impute my round body measurement by bust divided by 4. I'll mark it, then add my sewing allowance. I'll come to the under bust, divide my under bust by 4. I'm going to mark it, then this dart intake, I'm going to replace it and then add my sewing allowance. I'll come to the waistline, divide my waist by 4. I'll mark it, then the dart intake, that 2 inches with 2 for a dart, I'll replace it, then add my sewing allowance. Then I'll go ahead and connect the point together. Then I'll come in by my sewing allowance on the waistline. We are trying to form our basque effect, and make sure you close your dart before you rule out the line so you don't have a distorted line. Then I'll connect from that point all the way to the end of the paper. Please make sure you pay attention to how I'm doing it, like so. The next thing is to get our bust dart, and to get your bust dart is the difference you have from your shoulder to your waist in front and your shoulder to your waist at the back. My shoulder to my waist in front is 16 and my shoulder to my waist at the back is 14.5, so the difference is 1.5 inches. So come down by that 1.5 inches from the bust line. So make sure you measure your own to know what you have and then connect it all the way to your dart line. So this is basically for the drafting of the front pattern. It is very easy. So go ahead and label our pattern, the center front, the side front. Then this is the cup 1 and cup 2. Make sure you label them appropriately so you don't mix them up later. Then go ahead and cut the pattern paper out. So if at this point you have not yet subscribed, please do wait to hit the subscribe button. Subscription is totally free. Subscribe, like, comment, very important, and do wait to leave comment as well. This will help the algorithm to push this video to more people. So do wait to leave comments after you watch. Thank you so much for doing that for me. Please make sure to close up the bust dart before you cut on your fabric. So this is the pattern for the front. I'm going to bring my yoke and notch where it's stopping. Make sure you notch where your yoke is stopping so that you will not attach it wrongly when you're attaching it to the bodies later. So make sure you notch that area. So I'm going to use my marker to mark that point and then keep this aside so we can work on the back pattern. So from my shoulder to my bust point, I'm going to mark it on the back pattern just the way we did on the front pattern. I'll go ahead and extend the line across. Then from the shoulder, I'm going to come down to mark my waist point. These are only the lines we need for the back pattern. I'll go ahead and mark it. So from my shoulder to my waist at the back is 14.5, like I said earlier. I'll go ahead and mark it out. So this is my waistline and my bust points. I'll come to the top here, divide my shoulder by 2, which is 7.5. I'll mark it there, then come down by 1 inch at that point for my shoulder slope. I'll come here to mark my neck width of 3 inches, then connect the shoulder slant into the neck width. Come down to mark my arm length just the way we did in front on the front pattern. Then I'll connect the 2 points together. I'll go ahead and extend the line across this way. So this is our chest line now. I'll come here to mark the midpoint of this line. We are literally repeating what we did on the front pattern, but for the back we are not going in by half an inch. I'll come here to mark my bust divided by 4 on the chest line. Then I'm going to connect to the midpoint of this line just like this. Then I'll go ahead and mark my bust span measurement divided by 2 on the bust line and on the waistline. I'll connect the 2 points together like so. Then I'm going to mark half an inch on both sides of our dart line on the waistline. Then I'm going to connect all the way to the bust line like so. Then I'll go ahead and impute my round body measurement by bust divided by 4. I'll mark it, add my sewing allowance. I'll come to the waistline, my waist divided by 4. I'm going to replace the 1 inch for a dart intake, then add my sewing allowance. I'll go ahead and connect all the points together. So I'll come up here to mark my neck depth of 1 inch. I'm going to mark 1 inch for my neck depth. Then I'm going to connect from the neck width all the way to that 1 inch. From the neck depth, I'm going to come down by 1 inch and I'm going to connect all the way to the dart line. connect. You see what I just did? Connect from that 1 inch all the way. It's going to have like a button on the neck. Then I'm going to mark 1 inch. This is going to be for eyelet. So if your top is going to have a zipper, make sure to include your zipper allowance. But if you are going to put eyelets, make sure to subtract whatever inches you want to use for your eyelet. You can use 1, 2 inches. It depends on how open or close you want your back to look like. But if you don't want to use eyelet, if you want to use zip for yours, make sure to include your zipper allowance when drafting yours. If you're not using eyelet, make sure to include your zipper allowance. The reason why we didn't include our zipper allowance is because we are using eyelet for this. So make sure to do that when drafting. Please, when cutting your back pattern out, your yoke should stop on the chest line. I made a mistake and I cut through all the way to the bust line. Your yoke is supposed to stop on the chest line. Please don't cut through all the way to the bust line. So I'll go ahead and close up the dart and tape it down because I don't want to have too many pieces, so I'm not going to cut it out. Make sure you close it up before you cut on your fabric. And so this is basically it for the pattern drafting. Thank you for staying tuned. See you in my next video. Bye.